Hey everyone, Crewcaster here. The new mining rig for Retem just released. I kind of wanted to go through it with all of you guys. Try to get into some of the strategy and talk about what's new, what's old, and kind of what my opinion on it is at the end. So as of right now, there's actually only one ranked for the urgent quest. The requirements being you have to be at least level 41 as the enemies are level 45, and you also need a battle power of 2049. Okay, once you have all that, you can go into the urgent quest, and for those of you who did the mining rig in Aelio, you can notice like right off the bat that it's pretty similar. There's 3 mining rigs, enemies come in different waves, and you can collect points to get abilities, that kind of thing. Currently, there are 6 waves to go through, which feels like kind of like the right amount in comparison to the whopping 8 from the Aelio one. Each wave has varying enemies from the Retem region, some of them being from Aelio as well, but most of the bosses are things such as like Lazentos, Bubble Snapper, Portos, that kind of thing. Kind of a disappointing note is that kind of like the main boss of this mining rig is just Ragris again, which, yeah, it kind of just, it works the exact same way, nothing special about him. But for the smaller enemies, it's just dolls units and altars again. Another thing that makes a return is the bombs Phantasy units, which if left alive after a wave ends, they'll blow up on your mining rigs, doing massive damage. In addition to those, there's some other things that make a return, like mechanic wise, such as the back hacks, which attach to the rigs, and the meldrums or the red towers that can beam down on the rigs as well. I haven't seen the barrigales or the big walls with the weak points that could spawn, probably because of the terrain being so different instead of like flat. For things that are new though, elite variants of the bosses can spawn, which is okay. They just do like more damage and have a little bit more health. But the thing that's really nasty is equalizer enemies can spawn. Basically the ones that can protect a whole bunch of enemies, which in mining rig there are a lot of enemies that they can protect. So now I'm going to try to break down the waves for you guys and kind of give some strategy here and there. If you did play the other mining rig, you can basically do the same strategies for that here. So for starters, communication is huge when it comes to this urgent quest, as you have to put some thought into it to where you want to be and what to attack, along with the different abilities that you can use from collecting points. The best setup that I've found is to have 1 to 2 people on each mining rig kind of protecting it up close, and then have the rest but 1 be floaters helping out with the different rigs or attacking the red towers. Having 1 player close to each rig can be useful to destroy the back hacks or the pimples when they spawn. You can kind of tell when one is on a rig, as there will be a red outline on the rig itself on the minimap. Speaking of these pimples though, you can either destroy them by attacking them directly, or instantly destroying them by using the barrier ability once you've collected enough points from the collect a sign from around the map. These collect a sign look like blue restas. They'll just kind of like spawn randomly or sporadically throughout the map. They kind of vary in their point values, basically being low at first, but then increasing more and more as the waves go on. So if you kind of see them nearby, just run over them to collect them. And then as a side note, in between waves is where everyone should be collecting these, as that is when you'll get most of your points. But yeah, the barrier ability is really useful for protecting the rigs for a short period of time, as they'll make them immune to the enemy's attacks. But they also do a whole bunch of damage to the mobs that are kind of directly around it. Other abilities that you gain from these points are the ability to heal the mining rigs themselves. It's kind of the same way as you would apply the barrier by just going up to it and interacting with it. There's also a mobile cannon. This mobile cannon is pretty deadly at destroying the groups of mobs or even melting the bosses. It can even be used to traverse the map, surprisingly. But I would recommend using this later, either on wave 5 or 6, as these are the waves when it'll start getting pretty hectic. And don't worry about taking charges from other players, as each player gets their own uses for all the abilities. But going back to placement, as I said before, there should be one person on each rig, and the rest but one should be floating in between as need be. The floaters actually have a special job when it comes to the equalizer enemies. They should try to aggro them, and once they do, drag them away from the mining rigs to get them out of their like shielding range. This will allow the person that is on the rig itself to take care of the rest of the mobs while the floater kills the equalizer far away. But for the one that isn't floating or by a rig, this person's job is to keep aggro on the bosses. These start to spawn on around like wave 3 and onward, which as far as I could tell only spawn in the middle or the left side of the map. This single person should hold the aggro for the middle boss, as these are the more dangerous ones to let close to the rigs. But just be careful not to die if you are this person, as the boss will just start rushing towards a rig when no one is near it. But just know with randoms, this placement may be a little bit difficult, as kind of coordinating with people that you don't know, doesn't always work out. But if your group is mainly spread out across the map or by each of the rigs, instead of all just like concentrated in one spot, you should be able to do just fine. The only waves that I would truly worry about though are waves 5 and 6. This is where it seems like Sega is bringing in some sort of new mechanic with the Meldrums or the red towers. They start to spawn in ridiculous numbers, especially wave 6. Several of the floaters should probably be on top of these, because if left unchecked, can kind of get out of hand and absolutely just melt your mining rigs. Also on wave 6 is the final boss, which that one person should be keeping aggro for, which, like I said before, disappointingly is Ragris again instead of a new enemy. But this version spawns with a spider mech, and you'll have to target the legs to kind of destroy it effectively. If you're able to handle all that, you should easily get an A rank or even an S rank. But now for the best part, what are the rewards? So there's a multitude of things that can drop from this. You'll get all 3 Strugments guaranteed in amounts of like 2 to 6, along with some, trash 3 stars, 4 stars, along with some capsules. But for the RNG drops though, there's the Kukurosiat series, so all those weapons can drop. The Relic weapon series can drop. Currently the Obscura or Dark weapons can drop too, but that's only because of the anniversary event going on. For the more notable capsules, you can get some Ragris Soul 3s, which are great for ranged builds. You can also get Alt Secreta 3s, which are pretty nice for those glass cannon builds. Then you can also get some arms refiners too. But I don't know for sure if this mission can drop cosmetics like the other urgent quests, or like the rank 2 ones or Dark Falls, that kind of thing. Because those can drop weapon camos or motion changes. But if I find out you can, I'll probably put them either in the description or a pinned comment. But all in all, I honestly think this is a better version of Mining Rig in comparison to the Aelio one. Probably due to the terrain, different challenges like the equalizers, and like the craziness of all of the Meldrums or the red towers spawning in the final waves. The only thing that disappointed me was that Ragris was reused as the main boss instead of something else or something new. But let me know your guys' opinions, because I'm kind of curious what the general consensus of this quest is. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.